What's with all these extra parts? Hello, and welcome to Plebpla, where in today's model kit is the FigureRise Standard Build Divers Diver Ayame, Ayame's Diver look. As we know, given by my personal title, I am a fan of ninjas, and probably just long hair is my aesthetic, so I was already a fan of Ayame, despite that she has that weird tsundere mood about her. I at least appreciate that she flips that around and she does all the stupid, like, OMG squeak cute things over the bear guys, but that is neither here nor there. This is not a character analysis. This is a model kit review. And as is tradition, we start with the manual, the usual safety warnings and such on page 1 inside. Page 2 is the face construction, as well as talking about which eyes you should use where, the process of how to do water slides. I have learned that I am not good at this, despite that I have actually tried. And over here we go into head construction. We go into the twin tails and assembly therein. Move on to the arms. And then we move on to the body, which is a very confusing set of instructions. And once we get to step... I don't actually see step numbers. But it comes down to when it says displaying the upper body and which parts you wish to use under my thumb here. This is where it gets very overcomplicated and very odd. So it tells you to construct an upper body, which is fine, and then you have to choose internal parts if you want to make the parts that connect the legs or the parts that will connect only to a display skirt, as I'll call it. But then going from there, once you make your decision, the actual regular skirt, we flip on through to the back side, which is always the color side. The little side pouches, leg and foot assembly, and then final combination, as well as stand assembly, because it comes with an extra piece for properly plugging into her back. And how to assemble, or I guess how to plug in an optional backpack piece that is regular 3mm hard points. Finally, the 2 kunai, which are one solid piece. Over on our color side, we have, of course, the front of the manual and the back, which explains, about her. I guess it talks a little about her kunai, despite that she never really does anything with it, and more models in the Build Divers set. So tossing that aside, Ayame comes with 2 sets of eye stickers. We have the water slide seen here. As you can see, I tried to use 2 sets. We will go into that in a second. Followed by the regular stickers, which there are a few regular stickers to apply. We'll point them out over here. Those go on the stockings. Those are just white stripes. You could easily paint those on, but it's that weird feeling plastic. Like, it doesn't feel like regular polystyrene, but I don't know what things are. But it feels like the softer, more flexible ABS plastic. It's soft. The plastic is soft. It's not hard and crisp like most kits are. So, now that we've talked about the eyes, let me go forward and grab the alternate eyes. Or the alternate face plates, excuse me. Over here, if it'll focus, we have a bit of an enthralled starry-eyed look, which is the one that she usually gets when there are bear guys involved. The lipstick there is not a sticker, that is regular old red gunpla marker. Over here we have a regular expression. I managed to use the gunpla marker to get inside and color those indented blush lines, much in the way that you would panel line something. And same for the lipstick, just regular old gunpla marker. Now over here, on the uncovered face that I used, is the same technique of barely marking in the molded in blush lines and a slightly uneven paint job on the lips, so it looks a bit like she's biting at the corner of her lip. But this is where things get very, very curious. Hair aside, that doesn't really allow it to stand very well, so I'm gonna begrudgingly pop that out. The manual does not inform you that outside the almost dozen extra face plates for no good reason whatsoever other than they needed 2 runners for all the white parts, the manual doesn't tell you that there are enough parts within the kit that you can build 2 sets of torsos, one for display and one for full body. It doesn't tell you that you can build 2 different heads, 2 sets of hair, and almost a full set of arms. Because on this runner, there are a full complete set of arms, as well as another set of the back of the hands. Here are extra thigh pieces. You can almost build legs. Here are extra shoulder joints. Here is an entire, crotch area. There's another face mask. There's an extra extension piece. And there's a different set of thighs. On top of the fact that you can build a completely second torso for display purposes. The manual gives absolutely no indication, subtle indication that you can do this. It's frankly annoying because you get so close to having 2 sets of arms, but why? Why? And it's also a bit dumb, personally speaking, that you have the option of setting this on an action base. And maybe that's the problem that I have. I don't have an action base handily available to pop it onto. But the hair is long enough, once we pop that back in, that you have to have the hair trailing a bit further back behind her, forcing her head downward. So I guess this kind of looks for the blushy face that I put on her, but then it takes up extra space that it doesn't need to be taking up. Cool that it's there, but at the same time it's annoying because, as you can see up here, these are exposed arms, and the runners that all these extra pieces come on are purple as well. Pop this head off, as let's see how far I can get into it without breaking things. We're gonna break this out. The internal pieces tell you to use a flesh tone or the orange-ish color to construct the inner workings of the chest. However, we're going to give this a couple more seconds to see if I can do this or not. No, that's why. I forgot where the seam lines were at the freaking chest. This is very rude. There it goes. I'm trying to show the inner workings of this model kit here in case you have never purchased one before. The inner workings here are all purple. So it seems like if you chose the purple pieces instead of the flesh pieces, you could build a variant of Ayame wherein she's more clothed, like she's got a bodysuit on completely. Like, I don't believe, no, the right pieces aren't here, which is unfortunate. But you could cover her shoulders, but you can't cover her legs. So Bandai's like this close to doing several things and coming up short just because you need duplicate runners. But that's a bit much, so it's easier to put it back together than it was to take it apart, of course, right? So plugging her in back together, even the neck joint has to use purple. So putting all that back together, putting that on the shelf, let's talk about Ayame herself. Let's stop griping and get to the review. Her head, with arms out of the way, we'll turn this far, we'll turn that far, and that's with the ponytail getting in the way of the scarf. Her head goes down quite a bit, does not really go up, has a bit of side-to-side wiggle going on. Back here the hair is a couple of pieces, as well as a third piece for the pin here, which can rotate independently. But the twin tails will stretch about that far, but you can see it also turn the head a bit. At the back here I have attached the regular 3mm part, which is just a case of taking the head off, taking the red collar off, plug that into the back, which is just one singular 3mm piece. I left that in. I will try to remember to put some pictures up in this area wherein I attach some flame effect parts from the Build Burning Gundam. The arms on this very interesting ball joint will go all the way up, and if properly tended to, all the way around. At the elbow, you will get unobstructed rotation. You get a reverse bend, as well as, if we can position this right, a full flat 180. The hands are on simple ball joints, nothing fancy there. At the waist, Ayame does have the ab crunching, as well as the limbo, or the Guilty Gear Zappa pose. Let's see if, and this is just for stupid fun, we might need to get the hair out of the way. Almost there. Almost there. Please reference Zappa from Guilty Gear for further information on what I was trying to accomplish. But even without completely rotating the arms back in place, that was not at all difficult to do. Despite all the back and forth, there's very little rotation at the waist itself. We have two little pouch flaps here, just ball joints that plug into the side. Over here is one ball joint for the skirt, and it seems that playing with the legs is actually causing internal parts to separate, but that allows for a split, and unfortunately this means that your left leg will only kick so high. the same problem that the LBX Kunoichi had, limited leg kick, but the right will go much higher, though you might have to move the skirt out of the way. There we go. At the knee, we get full 180. We get a little bit of rotation above the thigh, because in there you see what kind of joint that is. At this part you get a little rotation here at the upper thigh, but too much rotation and it does kind of squeeze it out. You'll be fine. I'll have to recover that leg here. Pop this leg back in place. And then the foot here at the ankle, you have a peg and ball joint system, so you get foot all the way down, all the way up, and wiggle it around as you see fit. Very, very posable feats. Although now it means I've rotated things in a weird way. There we go. That solved that. She looks a bit hunched over now, and it's very awkward. There we go. That looks less awkward. Aside from the open hands, she comes with closed hands that will wrap around 2 sets of kunai, both of which have double-sided 3mm hard points. I will include another picture over here wherein things are attached to those hard points. And lastly, she comes with her own generic stand with an extension. So that will plug right into her back. So she will have her own spot to hang on and hang out in. Personally, I'm probably gonna dig out an Action Base 5 and put her on one of those. I really don't like this plugging into her back. I'm not a fan of this. I don't like how it looks. But that's personal taste. I like to use these to display model kits on while I'm building them, and I will wear them out until they break, at which point then I will discard them or put them on my SD kits. That's a good thing to use them for. But with that, Diver Ayame, she will get abundant. As I said at the top, I am a fan of ninjas. I am a fan of the long hair aesthetic. I personally think it's strange that you get the ability to build an entire second upper body and the instructions don't mention that. It tells you to build one or the other. Doesn't mention that you can build the whole other. Like this is a Venus de Milo kind of situation here. But that's okay, because you can keep one with the squad and take one to your desk. You can even take her arms off and she'd look relatively decent. Hey, there you go. That is not a bad look either. But that's it's an awkward plus is what I'm trying to say. But all my rambling aside, I thank y'all for watching. As always, stick around for more robots, more reviews, and more boxes of candy. Thank y'all for watching. And as always, SIEG ZEON.